So family, this story comes from Florida. It's about a Tampa police officer named Algenis Maceo, who was originally fired in 2019 because he removed some things from the evidence room. It was nicely and flowery worded, but basically failing to maintain things in the evidence room is a nice way of saying he was removing things from the evidence room. And on top of that, he kept turning off his body camera. You combine those two things and you know what that probably means, right? And this guy was fired. He was fired, but he was rehired in 2020 following a scandal where other officers were all fired and his actions were a part of that scandal. And yet for some reason, this guy got his job back. And then he was rehired and more problems continued. So let's get deeper into this story to show you the lack of accountability that the average police department has across the country. And family, here's a nice Facebook photo of Algenis Maceo, centered right there, right in the dead center. And then Councilman Charlie Miranda posing with this guy along with other officers, which lets you know that the government will not fix bad cops. It is up to us, the citizens. And on May 11th, Algenis Maceo was named Officer of the Month at the Tampa City Council. And it was said that he was attacking crime, really, by the chief, who is Mary O'Connor, city council members, and other business leaders who were handing gifts, right? They were giving gifts to this man, even though he has a long history of violations. And those violations were so severe that he was fired in 2019, only to be rehired to continue his bad cop behavior. And Maceo was the subject of 20 internal affairs investigations into his conduct since 2018. And since then, he has been charged with 18 violations of department policy. And yet, for some reason, this man is still on the job. And once again, in 2019, he was caught up in a major scandal that led to several officers being fired. Yet, for some reason, he's still on the job. And the former Tampa police chief, who is Brian Dugan, called Maceo's behavior a pattern of bad behavior that included failures to document detentions, searches, and properly disposing of seized drugs. You're talking about constitutional violations here. And as you can see, family, bad cops get Officer of the Month.